We're going to work through a no wrists, no shoulders Pilates, Mat Pilates workout. So anyone that has tight wrists, which I know is a lot of people, or really sore neck, this is for you. It's probably beginner, maybe beginner intermediate level. There'll be a couple of variations so that you can make things easier or harder as you need to, and but nothing on the hands. So let's see how we go. We're going to start with some glutes and core. So nice, easy glute bridge to start off with. Have your heels nice and close to your bottom. We're going to slowly roll our spine up off the mat so that all of our weight is on our shoulders. Now you can either hold it here or you can try and clasp your hands together behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your hips up even higher. Now your weight is right up on the very tops of your shoulders. I'm really squeezing my bottom, trying to use my glutes to keep my hips as high as I can. I'm going to release my hands, relax my shoulders out, and then I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to allow my vertebra to roll back down onto the ground. So starting with between my shoulder blades, touching the ground first. I'm trying to isolate my spine so one vertebra touches down at a time, all the way through the middle of my back, and then my tailbone is the last thing to touch. We're going to do that one more time without the hold in the middle. So tailbone lifts, mid-back lifts, upper back lifts, shoulders lift, squeeze the bottom, and then lower it back down. Between the shoulder blades lowers, draw the belly button down, mid-back lowers, lower spine, and then finally last thing is the tailbone. From here, pull your right knee in and try and hug your shin. Stretch your left leg out. We're going to do some bicycles. So option one is, as I'm doing now, laying flat, focusing on pulling your knee and getting a nice hip stretch. If you want to work a little bit harder, you can bring your chin up off the ground. Chin to chest, shoulder blades are up off the ground, even upper back is up off the ground. Hardest option is no hands. So I take my palms out by my sides. I'm cycling, switching those legs, but there's no hands to help me out. Remember, these are optional. You can always stick on the floor. Your core will be working, getting that nice stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Legs bent and back on the floor. We're going to go into a single leg glute bridge now. So I want you to stretch your left leg out. We're going to lift our hips up off the ground, pressing our weight into our right heel, and then lower back down. Lifting up and hold and lower. You can move your foot in a little bit closer if you need a little bit more leverage, if you want to get a little higher. Try and press your weight into your heel, almost lifting your toes up off the ground, and lower. We're going to do 2 more. Up, squeeze the glute, try and feel it in that right butt cheek. Last one, up and hold and down. Swapping legs, make sure you're replacing one foot with the other so that we're the same distance out on both sides. Up and squeeze. So obviously we're working the glute and trying to focus predominantly on the glute. You might feel it a bit in your hamstring, a bit in your calf, a bit in your quad. That's okay, as long as it's mostly in your butt. If you don't feel it mostly in your bottom, you may need to move your foot a little bit further out or a little bit further in. Might depend on how long your legs are. We're going to do 2 more. Up, drive that heel down, squeeze the bottom and lower. And last one, up and squeeze and down. Good work. Let's just pull both knees in to the chest, rock side to side a little bit. Let the glutes release a little bit. Legs out long. We're going to do a Pilates crunch. So hands behind your head. You're going to lift your chin to your chest, look at your toes, and come back down. If you feel like you're pulling your neck, you can point your fingers towards your toes. Like this, come back down. If that is still too much for anybody's neck and shoulders, I want you to sit up and do the opposite. We're going to do half roll down. Back and squeeze and up with a little hamstring stretch. Okay, so you've got two options here. Harder option from the floor. Up, hold, look at those toes, and down. Feel like you're lifting from the bottom of your abs. Yes, your head, neck, and shoulders are coming up, but the movement should be coming from the hips, from the bottom of your abs, not from your neck and shoulders. You'll feel it in your neck and shoulders if you're either A, super tight there, or B, you've got a weak core. If the core is really weak, we're better off going with these half roll downs instead. We're going to do two more of your choice, whether it's the half roll down or the Pilates crunch. Last one. The further you go with this half roll down, the harder it is. And then come all the way back down. We're going to do one more glute/hamstring exercise. For this one, toes are up, only the heels are down. Lift the hips up, and we're going to march it in and out. Out, out, in, in. Keeping the hips up the whole time. If you want, arms up in the air. Whoo! Feel the burn on the back of those hamstrings. Try and keep your hips up nice and high the whole time. Let's change the leading leg. Don't let your bottom touch the ground. Keep it up. Keep those toes pointing at the roof. Other leg leads. Left, right, left, right. Out, out. In, in. Push the hips. Squeeze the butt. Nice work. We've got 3 to go. The further out you march, the harder it is. The more you're going to work those hamstrings. Ooh, they almost cramp for me if I go too far. I've lost count. One more for good luck. Out, out, in, and down. Again, let's just release that lower back. Rock side to side, grab the knees. Next, we've got a pretty tough core exercise, but there are options. So if you do not want to lift your head and neck up off the ground, all you're going to do, actually, there's 2 options. You can either feet flat on the floor, feet up halfway, knees at arm length, or legs out on an angle. Angle's the hardest. I said 2 options, that's 3. What we're going to do, it's called the 100. We're going to breathe in and out through our nose only, and we're going to do pulses with our hands while we do it. Every breath has 10 pulses, and we take 10 breaths, and we end up with 100 pulses. So the hardest option is legs out straight and chest up, back up off the ground. And we're like this. Medium is here or here. Then we go down again. You could do the pulses, but you're down or like this, or come all the way down and just focus on your breath and your arms if you need to. That was a big explanation. Let's just get into it, okay? Breathe in and pulse. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Harder option if you want. In and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Harder option. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to keep your lower back flat on the floor. That's our aim. Again, that feeling of lifting from the lower abs. Whoo! That's burning. We're halfway. And in. And out. And in. 3 to go. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh! Stretch out. Tough stuff. Abs should be burning. Good job. We are going to sit up. So, what we're going to do next, 2 of my favorite Pilates moves, the bicycle and the scissor. So, the aim is to get your hips up off the ground. So I use my hands to support my hips and try and have my feet pointing all the way at the roof. But if you cannot get your hips to that position, you can just do it like this. It will just be more of a standard core exercise. So everybody get themselves into whatever position they can get to, all the way up or just flat on their back. And the bicycle is like this. One knee bent, one leg straight. Exactly like we did before. We're just not holding on to the knees this time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your feet pointed at the roof. Now we're going to have one leg straight down towards the floor. And scissor, this one is called. So I'm flexible, so my bottom foot can touch all the way to the floor, but that is absolutely not a prerequisite of this exercise. Just keep holding your hips, kicking your legs as best you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sit up. Good job. Whichever option you chose, good work. We're going to go into a spine twist. So I want you to sit up with your feet like a little pizza. Not too wide, not together, like a decent slice, you know? Arms up, back nice and straight. We're going to rotate. We're going to look towards our back hand, twist as far as we can, release the breath, and then come back to the middle. So I'm breathing in, looking towards that back hand, hold my breath, and release. We're going to add in a saw, so look towards that back hand, and then you're trying to get the outside of your hand to the outside of your ankle. Come back up, release the breath. Breathe in, hinge forwards and hold. Come back up and release. If you can't hold your breath for that long, just breathe however feels comfortable for you. It could be in, out, in, out. One more time each side. So core's working a little bit, but mostly we're really trying to improve our trunk rotation and then our flexion through the back of our legs. Twisting, looking towards that back hand, rotating, and release. Arms can come back down by your sides. Nice work. We're going to do some 90-90s here. These are not a classic Pilates move. They are more a mobility move, but I love them, so I'm throwing them in. So this is 90-90, not triangles, stretched out like this. We're going to do a little flow here. So belly button over front knee. We're going to come down, eyes on the floor. Option to lift the back foot off the ground. So my knee's down, my foot is up. I come back up. I'm going to rotate through the middle so my heels are staying where they are. So now I'm in my 90-90 on the other side. Belly button over knee. Coming forwards as far as I can, nice glute stretch. Option to lift the back foot off the ground, otherwise just hold and then back up. So we're really opening up the hips here. Belly button forwards. Back foot lifts. Back up. Rotate. Other side. And down. And foot. Nice. We're going to try and add something on here. So feet are nice and wide. There's a big gap between the back knee and the front heel. I'm working on my hip mobility. I'm coming down. Do I have good internal rotation and of the knee and external rotation of this hip? From here, I'm going to tuck my feet in and come up into a shin box. Nice extension for this back hip. Come back down. Pick up my feet to open them back out again, because otherwise I'd be in this triangle position. Arms forwards, internal rotation. Tuck the feet, bring the arms up, shin box. Push this hip right forwards, extension of the front of this hip. Come back down, pick up the feet now rather than keep them where they are, open back out. We're gonna do that one more time each side. Belly button over shin or knee, or she. Tuck in, arms up. So some of you may not have enough hip mobility to do this. You might have to keep a hand on the floor and you might not be able to lift your back foot up, and that's okay. And as you come up into your shin box, again, you might need to pick yourself up. You might need to work through it. That's okay. Hopefully in time you will improve. I love that flow. Side lying leg circles. This is absolutely classic Pilates. So ideally, you want to get a towel and put it between your arm and your head so that your head isn't tilted on an angle. I do not have a towel, so I'm just going to make do. You're going to lift this top leg up so that your foot is in line with your hip. Now, beginner, you want this bottom leg nice and bent. It's going to keep you stable. As you start to do leg circles, your whole body's going to wobble. If you have your legs straight, you're going to wobble more. So if you bend this bottom leg, it will give you support because we want to use your core, keep your spine long and your pelvis tucked under. So your choice, bottom leg bent or straight. And we're going to do small circles going forwards, okay? Keeping the foot around foot height. When I did my Pilates instructor course, the instructor said, you want to make your circle as big as you want your bottom to be. And that was meant to be a tip on how to keep the circle small. But I feel like fashion has made bigger booties more popular. So maybe we can do bigger circles now, I'm not sure. Change direction, circle back the other way. So we are trying to work the glute and the top of the hip. Squeeze the tummy in. So Pilates is always core. It's like, yes, maybe we're working our glutes or our arms, but it's also always core the whole time. Pelvic floor strengthening, using our abs to keep our spine nice and long. Hold that foot. We're going to do tiny little pulses up and down now. Keep drawing the belly button in. Nice deep breaths in and out through the nose in your own time. Hold. We're going to do big kicks up and down, up and down. That leg should be starting to burn now. Trying to keep your core tight so that your body doesn't move around. 2 more of these big kicks. And then little pulses one more time. All right, who wants a burner? You can rest if you need to. Otherwise, real burner. You're going to rotate this leg inward so your big toes pointing down at the ground. You're going to tap and lift, tap and lift. So big toe touches the floor and then heel lifts up towards the roof. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Ooh. All right, let's do that on the other side. Rotate it around. Get ready for the burn round 2. I did my bottom leg bent, so I'm going to do it the same on my second side. Whichever choice you went with, try and keep it the same from right to left. Top leg lifts so that my heel is in line with my butt. My butt is big, so my foot's quite high off the floor. If you have narrow hips, maybe your foot would be a little bit closer to the ground. And small circles forwards to start off. You want to try and make sure that your body's in a nice straight line. If you have a yoga mat, what you want to do is line your arm, your head, your back, and your bottom up against the back edge of your mat. So you can run a hand, you can look with your hand and be like, oh, yep, I'm in a nice straight line. You don't want to have your arm forwards and then your legs forwards. You don't want to be in the fetal position. Change direction, circle back the other way. Because, again, we're working on keeping our spine nice and long, our pelvis tucked under. And if you're all curved and out of whack, it's not really giving us the benefits that we are after. All right, little pulses straight up and down. We're going to go into our big kicks now, high and low. High and low. These are the ones where the burn really starts to kick in. We're going to power through it together. I know it hurts, but you can do it. 4, 3, 2, little pulses. Here we go, little ones. 12, 11, 10. Keep powering through. Think about what you're going to do for the rest of today after you're no longer in pain. All right, you can rest there if you want to, or if you want that extra challenge, going into the toe to floors. Always hurts more on the second side. My butt's like, please, no. All right, 4 and lift. 3 and lift. 2, heel up. Last one. Woo! Woo, roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. We're going to do some windscreen wipers. Actually, from this position, so take your arms out into a T. You're going to drop your knees over, but don't quite let them touch the floor, and then up and over to the other side. So really working into your obliques, your waist. Squeeze your tummy in nice and tight. If you want to make it harder, straight legs. Straight legs is much harder. Your feet are going to want to go all the way over to the floor, and your core is going to work really hard to try and make sure that that doesn't happen. We're going to go for 4 more. Your choice, legs bent or straight, or maybe somewhere in the middle. If your bent's too easy, straight's too hard, you can have them halfway. 1 more. Nice work. Very good job. All right, we have 2 exercises to go. We're going to do some swimming. So, because we are all easy on neck and shoulders, I'm going to keep my head down here. So, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Feeling it in my glute, my low back, my shoulder, lifting as high as I can. Up and hold, and release, up and hold, and release. We're going to do some legs only, so you can keep your hands here, or you can put your forehead on your hands so that you've got a little bit of room for your nose. Lift up, out, in, and down. So this is more just the glutes. Out, in, and down. Up, out, in, like you're doing a little air star jump. Squeeze your bottom. Pretend someone's grabbing your feet and pulling them away from you, keeping your body, your legs nice and long and straight and stretched out. Make you be as tall as possible. 2 to go. Last one. Nice work. We're going to do just some shoulders. Now, if your shoulders are super tight, maybe you can avoid this, but it's good to help strengthen the shoulders as well. So we're going to do thumbs up, head down, and you can do single arm, that's the easier option, or you can go for both arms at the same time. See how high you can lift them. So it shouldn't be pulling on your neck, it should be working lightly, those muscles between your shoulder blades. 3. We're actually going to add in a pull like this. And forwards, up, and pull like you're trying to get your thumbs to touch your shoulders. Last one, up, squeeze, stretch, and down. Stretch back into child's pose. Nice work. Arms out in front, forehead on the ground, knees nice and wide, creating space for your belly to go between your legs, and trying to get your bottom to your heels if you can. Do a little bit of rocking side to side, whatever feels comfortable and right for your body today. Then we're going to do, I've forgotten its name, crab. Doesn't really remind me of a crab, but it is the Pilates version of the child's pose. So you're going to cross your legs over. You're going to hold on to your feet and tuck your head in. It's just a nice stretch for your spine. Really quite similar effects to the child's pose. Just really rounding your spine over and relaxing it the other way after all of our core work and glute work that we've done in this session. If this position feels comfortable for you, you can stay here. If you prefer the child's pose, you can go back to that. We're going to take 2 nice deep breaths in this position. Close your eyes, close your mouth, inhale through your nose, and think about filling your diaphragm and your belly with air. Can you feel your lungs expanding? And then exhale through the nose. One more time, in.
Fill the chest, fill the lungs, and exhale. Release everything.
Fantastic work. A little nice, easy Pilates session for those of you that don't want to put any pressure on your wrists or your neck. Hope you enjoy.